Beginning of PAL. When I first started on my placement, I was very shy and didn't really speak with the students. Whenever the students asked me questions, I was afraid to answer because I didn't have a lot of confidence back then. I never wanted to speak in front of the class, and I wouldn't demonstrate leadership. For example, I would never tell the students to quiet down or tell them to get off their phones. Throughout being a PAL. Now that I have been in my placement for a while, I have developed more confidence and will actually answer the students' questions and initiate conversation. I'm not afraid to talk in front of the class anymore, and I use my authority to get the students to listen. I feel that at this point the students take me more seriously, and it is a much better environment for me and the students. Being proud. One example of a time that I was proud of myself was when I taught the class. We had a supply teacher that day, and the students were not understanding the work that was left behind. I helped the students understand by showing them tips I used to do similar questions to theirs. It felt really good to be able to help them, because I understand how it feels to struggle in a class and not understand. Not achieving. An example of a time I was not doing as well as I wanted to is when the students were not taking me very seriously. They would never listen to me when I asked them to do something, and they would just laugh at me. I started to act less like a friend and more like a teacher, and that put them in their place and got them to listen better. This helped me realize that I can succeed even when I feel that I have failed. Conflict resolution. One time, two students in the class were insulting each other, and it began to affect theirs and the rest of the class's learning. I felt that it was important for the students to recognize and resolve the conflict that was happening during the class. I pulled the students aside and explained that what they were doing was not appropriate for a class setting and they needed to stop. After speaking with the students, they apologized to each other and moved on from the incident. If I were to start over, what I would do differently. If I were to go back and take a PAL class again, I'd try to engage earlier rather than sitting in the back of the class and observing. I want to accept that it is okay to be wrong because that would allow me to answer the students' questions and not feel bad about being wrong. I would also want to be less nervous because I feel that I wasted a lot of time at the beginning of the placement being nervous when I could have been helping. Advice. Some advice that I would give to a student starting in a PAL placement would be to not take anything the students say too seriously. Kids can be rude, but you just have to have thick skin and not listen to what they say. I would say to not be super nervous because in the end there's not much to be scared about. And lastly, I would tell them to make friends with a couple of the students because this gives you a place to go at the beginning of the class and it helps with the nerves. What I will take out of the class. I feel that this PAL placement was a positive experience for me and helped me grow as a person. I will continue to be more confident in myself when meeting new people or when asked to help with a task. I will also use the leadership skills we learned to become a better leader in the future. All in all, I had a great semester and I'm glad I took this PAL class.